Welcome back. I'm Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and it is vlog day today. So happy to see every single one of you. So the other day, I posted a poll asking you guys if anybody happened to live near me in Sarasota County. There were, some of you that do live pretty near to me, some of you that don't, but I asked that question because I've just been playing around with some ideas of possibly doing like an in-person class type thing, but I just didn't know how many people would be able to come to it. You know what I mean? It's just something that I was thinking about, and I just wanted to see, how many people were out there near me that could, but I didn't say why. There was no context. I just asked who was close. But now you know the context behind that poll. So it was just something that I was thinking about. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure about it yet. It's still something I'm trying to plan. Okay, so today I want to do something that I seen on TikTok. Usually when I see something on TikTok, I completely forget to like either save the video or like it. Like I forget, like I see it and I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. And then I'm distracted by the 4 kids running around the house. But this time, the thing that I seen, I made sure to download the video so that way I could show you guys what I'll be doing. So I'll probably be playing it somewhere near here. But it looked so easy. It looked so fun. And it was just something kind of outside the box, like it just, I don't know. It seemed really interesting and I want to give it a whirl, see how it goes. If it goes good, then, obviously it's really kind of inspired me to do a couple other things if it works out. So, all right. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And of course, I'll make sure to put where I got, the inspiration and stuff down in the description box so you guys can go check out the person that inspired me today. Okay, so I do have a tumbler this morning. It's just my tutorial. There we go. Okay. It's my tutorial from Friday. I have that. I really like how that turned out. I really like the colors and everything. I was a little nervous to do this. I was, because I didn't know, along with everything, you just don't know how it's gonna go. But that's the whole point of art. You just keep making and see where it takes you, I can't stress that enough. Some of my biggest mistakes and things I've done with my tumblers have become like some of the coolest things I've done. So if you guys would like a chance to win this tumbler that I made, my tutorial here from Friday, along with all the glitters that I used to make it, all you have to do is just make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. Just drop a hello down below in the comments. That's all you got to do. And you'll be automatically entered to win the tumbler and the glitters. So that's what we'll be doing this week. All right, so I'm really excited to get started on this thing that I seen on TikTok. I'm pretty excited. So I got my tumbler and I'm ready to wake up, prep these tumblers and slay all day. Let's do this. All right, so I was just kind of prepping my area here, kind of getting my things together before I get started. But all I did so far was I spray painted a tumbler. What is this? Harvest grape? Not rustic grape, harvest grape. But I thought it would go really well with this mica powder that I had gotten a long time ago from one of my very awesome subscribers. Thank you, Dawn. I still have all those mica powders. But you guys know mica powders last so long unless you're using big quantities of it, So I have all my stuff here. I got Nantucket blue, I have a champagne mist, and I have my mica powders. And another thing you're gonna need is a chip brush and some rubbing alcohol in a Spritz bottle. Now I have 20 milliliters of epoxy in my cup here. I didn't know how much I would need. I just know you want enough to be able to, when you spray the spray paint onto the tumbler, it's able to, the spray paint's able to settle down into the epoxy. That's all you want. So I stirred that epoxy up really good. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add my mica powder to my epoxy. So the reason why I got mixed up with the ink thing, why I said inks earlier, is because it's essentially like dropping inks onto your tumbler. I mean, we're pretty much doing the same thing. We're applying a colorant to the epoxy, just kind of in a different manner. So this mica powder mixture is essentially our base for what we want to do. This is just kind of to add a little bit more texture. It has like a little bit of a shiny pearlescent look to it. So that's why we're putting this mica powder in there today. So I'm just going to stir that up really good. This color was such a beautiful color. Again, I don't have anywhere to give you guys to purchase this mica powder. This was just given to me as a gift, and she doesn't sell the micas, I don't believe. So, and it was a while back, so. All right, after that's all mixed up, I'm gonna go ahead and just lay down some paper towels to kind of save my space here, because we are gonna be using some spray paints. And also I already shook up my spray paints really well, and I tested them outside to make sure that they were gonna spray properly before I got started here as well. On top of that, my garage door is open, and I have my fans ventilating out of my garage, so that way, you know, I don't have the smell of spray paint in my garage here. So just make sure you play it safe, safety first. All right, guys. So I believe this is a 16-ounce stemmy, and I'm going to use all 20 milliliters of my epoxy mixture here onto this tumbler. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply all 20 mLs onto here. I'm gonna put it right onto my turner, and then we're gonna jump right into doing the next step. So after I get it placed onto my turner, I'm gonna go ahead and hit it up really good with my torch before I move any further, because I obviously don't wanna use my torch after I get my spray paint on there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that really quick. So again, I'm just gonna shake it one more time. I have that Nantucket blue, and that's the first one I'm gonna start with. And I'm just gonna be doing these just real random bursts of color all over the tumbler, making sure I get the handle as well, because, you know, that's what I want. Now, I didn't do as much spray paint as I seen the other lady doing it. I was a little nervous. I could have done a little bit more, I think, because this stuff really kind of dissipates as you go. So I definitely would have done a little bit more, but that's okay. You know, this was my first time doing it. So after I let it do a couple rotations and I just kind of watched it, I'm going to take my chip brush and I'm going to start stippling around the paint. Stippling, right? Yeah, sure. I'm just going to kind of blend those edges out, feathering the edges out, stippling that brush down, and I'm not pouncing too hard. I'm kind of doing more of a light-handed pouncing of those colors to mix in that mica mixture, the epoxy mica mixture with the paints. Now, after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit more of that blue onto the tumbler. I just felt like it needed more, because I realized after I got it on there, like I said, it all kind of dissipated just a little bit. You know, it got kind of muted against my darker color, but it's not a big deal. Like I said, first time trying it here. Definitely want to make more. So again, I sprayed more of that blue and just did the same thing. I just kind of pounced my brush around, mixing up that color really good and with that epoxy. So after I blended that in a little bit, now we're going to come through and add that second color. Now again, this was like that champagne mist. It's a very beautiful color. I do wish I would have gotten the super metallic gold like she used in the TikTok that I seen, but this was really pretty too. It's a little bit more muted, like I said, so it doesn't stand out as much, but it's still very pretty. Now, right after I spray on that mist, or that champagne mist, I'm going to spritz it with my rubbing alcohol, and you're going to see something very magical happen. Just like with alcohol inks, the paint is going to kind of make this very distressed pattern on it. Wherever the alcohol lands, it's going to kind of push the paints away, making these just real beautiful distressed look to it. So I'm not really going to stipple that too much with my brush. I'm just using my rubbing alcohol to kind of give it that extra look. But I am going to come through with my brush here in a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more of that gold here and there. And you just want to layer, you just want to play around, but you don't want to add too much, because just like with alcohol inks, if you add too much colorant to your epoxy, it could mess with the cure of your epoxy, and you might end up with a sticky, you know, with it being sticky rather than curing properly. So you just have to make sure that you don't add too much, which is why we added such a huge coat of epoxy onto our tumbler blank, because it will ensure that that paint can get into that epoxy and the epoxy will still be able to cure properly. So if you've ever done coasters or anything and you added a bunch of alcohol inks to it, and then you go to demold it and it won't harden, it'll just stay like soft rather than harden, it's because you added too many inks. I'm just saying. Okay, I've had that happen too. All right, that's a learning process, right? Anyways, so now here I'm going to come through with my brush and very, very lightly just kind of feather out some of these spots with that champagne mist that it made. There were some bigger spots that I threw in there, and I didn't want those too much, so I'm just gonna feather those out just a little bit. But how amazingly simple is this? I mean, so insanely simple. I barely cut anything out of here. You know, I just took out the boring stuff, you know. But I mean, this is pretty much, you guys watch me almost in real time. So pretty simple, pretty awesome. And I see the real potential in this, and I can't wait to make a couple more things with this. Now you may be like, just wasting a brush doing this. No. We're going to take it, we're going to clean it. I got my rubbing alcohol. I'm going to spritz it down really well with my rubbing alcohol. Then I'm going to take my paper towel here and I'm going to aggressively rub it against the paper towel, and it's going to come nice and clean. Okay, so we're not wasting any brushes or anything like that. Just spritz it down really good with your rubbing alcohol. See right here, see what I'm doing? Just like that. I kind of bunched it up a little bit, got a nice pool of that rubbing alcohol. There we go. Good to go. Ready to be used for another day. So I'm going to go ahead and let that cure. I'm not done with it. I think I want to add another layer over top of this. I just feel like it needs a little bit more because I was too shy with my paints the first round, okay? So that's definitely something we'll have to pick up on next week. All right, and again, if you would like to win, if you would like a chance to win this tumbler along with the glitters that I used, just comment something down below and make sure you're subscribed, obviously. Then that'd be helpful. That'd be nice. But make sure you're subscribed. Just drop a comment down below. Talk about, you know, you don't have to say I want to win it or anything. Just, you know, say what do you think about the paint, the wet paint epoxy thing? What do you guys think? Would you give that a try? Are you going to give it a try? I think I'm going to do some more with it. Definitely got to keep experimenting with it for sure. It definitely has potential. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for me for today. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.